Just heard the ACD song and I was using the blues channel, so I was using the blues channel with the gain all the way up for the Angus Young part, and for the other guitar, the Malcolm Young, whatever you want to call it, the other guitar was using just half the gain. As you can see, even though it's a blues channel, it's supposed to be the crunch channel, there's still a lot of gain to be used, and I'm not even using the solo one. So what I'm doing now, I'm just gonna make you hear something. So this is the bypass signal. The guitar is going through a 4x12 with Celestion V30 speakers, and I'm recording with the, of course, the Shure SMS 57. There's some more sounds with the blues channel. Notice there's still a lot of gain and sustain, even though this is just the blues channel. And I'm gonna switch to the solo channel. You can hear immediately the much noise in the background, but still. Still a lot of sustain and a lot of gain. I'm gonna switch over to the clean channel. Okay, now something that you will notice is that there is a lot of bass in this pedal right here. What you will probably need to do is just dial back on the bass control to get a more sparkling tone. It really depends also on where you actually connect the pedal, but still there's a lot of bass, and with distortion, this too much bass in the mix is going to be very difficult to handle, and that's why there's also the presence control, which is very, very useful. I usually take the presence all the way up because I need more clean. So you can hear the difference when I turn off the bass, like this. With all the way up. the basic rundown of the unit itself. So this is, as you can see, it's a very bulky unit because it's occupying basically almost 3 times the space of a normal enclosure of a pedal. It's actually 12 volts, so it has a dedicated power supply, so just forget about running this with a 9-volt transformer. It has its own power supply. It also has a couple of real valves here that you can remove by just removing the screws here. There's a grill protecting the 2 real valves. In this case, they are the 2 MESA valves. I just changed them because they were staying there with the original ones, which were MESA for probably 10 years or so. So I figured, well, I might as well change them. And as you can see from the looks of it, my unit is pretty battered because it's ruined. All the varieties are going away. But that's how it is with vintage and auto production pedals like this. You get a very good high quality in the production of sound, but they are not very reliable. And that's why for the rest of the video I'm using the photographs, because as you can see from the back here, all the writings is even almost fade. You cannot read it anymore. But anyway, while we are here, you have the normal basic control that you would expect from a unit like this. Of course, this is the true bypass or standby bypass. It's almost faded, but you can still see him. The bypass, which actually bypasses the unit, of course. And this is the selection from the channel. You have basically 3 channels. One is, which is the solo one here, right here. The other one is called blues, and the other one is a clean. And this toggle right here switches between the clean sound and the blues sound. They call it the blues, but actually it's a crunch sound. So it's a channel with a less gain, because in the 90s basically it was called, well, blues, but anyway, it doesn't make sense because it's a crunch channel. Of course you can play the blues because even though it was a thing, a very fashion in the 90s, well, guess what? Blues is still a fashion right now these days. So what the hell? So, and the rest of the units is back here. Oh yeah, here I forgot something. We got the gain, the main gain, which is right here, which of course controls the gain of the solo channel and of the blues channel, because they are similar, but there's a different structure in the gain. So when you're doing the gain is cramped up all the maximum, you get the maximum gain in the solo channel and the maximum in the blues channel. Then we have a shared EQ section, which is bass, middle, and treble. And then the presence, very useful control, and then the master volume. So basically what you do is decide which is your master volume compared to the bypass signal, so you get a very coherent sound. And on the back of it, on the back of the unit, on the bulky unit, there's a very uncomfortable thing right here, which is actually adjusting, as it says, to adjust the clean, because sometimes it's just the clean is just all too much compared to the solo channel, or just not enough. So this is actually a very useful to you just use the normal screwdriver. It's very useful, but since the pedal is very almost 20 or 15 years old, something like that, so this little thing here is constantly moving with the vibration of the amplifiers and everything. So you have to unscrew this little thing. That's why I always leave it unscrewed, take it back, flip it out of the unit, and then regulate it again. So that's very uncomfortable. I wish they didn't do that, but it's very necessary, but it's very uncomfortable. And on the over right here, we have, okay, of course, the ignition for the power supply. There we have the mixer headphones, because this unit can actually work with the headphones, or it can go directly on a mixer. And you have the power amp, because you can connect this one to the power amp or to a normal guitar amp. If you connect this one to the guitar amp, you're gonna use the clean channel of the guitar amp. And the power amp is just another different situation. So the pedal actually behaves in a different way. And then over here, okay, we have an instrument input, of course, the input, and then we have the external select and external bypass, because this unit right here can be controlled via other cables. So basically, it can be set afar from the stage or in a rack or wherever you want to place it, and can be controlled from a distance. Okay.